Okay, so this is the patch Time Vortex. I'm going to break down how we created it. So this is set up to be a split sound where we have a little melody sound in the right hand, and in the left hand we have a automatically repeating rhythmic bass line tone. So you put it all together, you can play like a whole song from one single patch here, which a lot of people aren't going to think you'll be able to do in a Reface DX. So let's break down what we've got here. We've got our algorithm 4 here. I really like this particular algorithm because it gives us opportunities to do things that are a little bit unusual. And what we've set it to do is to have operators 1 and 2 be our right hand sound, and operators 1, 3, and 4 to be the left hand bass sound. So let's turn off operators 3 and 4, and you'll hear that the basic synth tone actually does play across the entire keyboard. This is just the underlying basic timbre that we're going to be using. And then operators 3 and 4 only are going to play in the left hand region. So if we go over here and look at our key scaling, you'll see that we've chosen the negative linear curve for ops 3 and 4, and they're at maximum negative 127, so that these fade out very rapidly above middle C. So you'll hear and it's pretty much inaudible by the time we get to the E above middle C. So that way we have our right hand melody sound that doesn't fight at all with our left hand automatic bass line. So one other thing I want to point out here is that our tuning ratios, we've got ops 1 and 2 at 1:1, which is why we have that sort of sawtooth type of synth sound in the top. And down in the lower, we've got ops 3 and 4. 3 is set to 4.0 and op 4 is to 0.5. And this 4 value here is to set up the high harmonic sweep sync effect, and the 0.5 is to basically give us a different octave in our fundamental bass sound, so that relative to middle C pitch, the bass sound will be an octave lower than that underlying synth timbre. So we have the opportunity to play some octaves and other stuff in the left hand without having any crowding of our right hand melody stuff. So the you'll hear that when we have the operator 4 in, it drops at an octave. Okay, so you might wonder, where are we getting this repeating effect? So what we're doing here in this patch to make operators 3 and 4 give us the repeat effect is we're using our LFO wave here as our envelope generator. And we're doing that because we've set the amplitude modulation depth up very high for operators 3 and 4. So we'll go ahead and turn these down, and you'll hear basically what the basic timbre is actually down in that left-hand region. Here, let's actually turn our effects off so we can get a little better handle on what that sounds like. So it's very much your typical bright, buzzy FM type of timbre. And so let's turn the amplitude modulation depth back on here. And let's get that to our 67. I missed the prior version of the editor that let us have all our direct number entry, but hopefully Yamaha will fix that soon. And we're 109 here, I believe. So now by turning those on very high, we're having the overall amplitude of the output of operators 3 and 4 being controlled by our sawtooth down wave at a speed of 45. A sawtooth down, of course, mimics a envelope. So now we have our repeating bass line going on. Now you probably noticed that doesn't actually sound like what it used to, and that's because in addition to using the LFO wave to modulate the modulator output of 3 and 4, I also had the pitch modulation depth set for this high harmonic component with the 4.0 ratio in operator 3. So now that is pitch sweeping operator 3 along with the amplitude mod, so it gives it sort of an oscillator sync noise sweep effect. So let's turn that off again. Turn it back on. So now we have our repeating synth bass tone playing our quarter notes. So to complete the patch, we want to get something a little more interesting than just that quarter note bass line. So we're using the delay effect to create a interplay off the repeating quarter notes with the delay time. And we've got this triplet-eighth note effect going on delay, and then of course to thicken up the sound a little bit, but more importantly to give it a nice big stereo space, we're using the chorus. I like using a big depth but not too much rate, so we can spread out the stereo image a little bit. And so that's how we have our entire patch here that lets us play these nice little self-contained songs all in one patch. So we have our